Hey.
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
He did what?
Jackpot, baby!
Ice up, son. Ice up. That is blasphemous. You can put it on the board. Yes.
And the Dallas Cowboys last night on Monday Night Football beat the unbeaten New York Giants and hand the Giants their first loss of the season. And I will admit it. I did not see the Cowboys entering Week 4 at 2-1 and being undefeated with Cooper Rush as the starting quarterback in 2022. That is not something I expected to see happen after Dak Prescott got injured Week 1. Prescott, who had been the leader in Dallas for a considerable amount of time, got hurt Week 1, was set to be out 4 to 8 weeks, and with Cooper Rush taking things over, I did not think things were looking so great for Dallas. Instead, Cooper Rush has been able to manage things. Dallas is at 2-1, and Cooper is playing so well that Dak is over on the sideline saying, "Hey, my hand is feeling great. I'm ready to play. I don't need thumb injury. I don't know what you're talking about. Please, I'm ready to play." Because Cooper Rush has not been playing so well as to start should he be taking over for Dak Prescott? He's not been playing that well, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But in his 2 starts, the Cowboys are 2-0. Week 2, he was 19 of 31 for 235 yards, 1 touchdown pass. And last night, he was 21 of 31, 215 yards, and 1 touchdown pass as well. Again, not amazing stats. But let's be honest, those are decent numbers, but that's not crazy. Next week, they're playing the Commanders, a very winnable game, I'd say. But beyond that, they're going to be tested as Week 5 they play at the Rams, Week 6 at the Eagles, and Week 7 at home against the Lions. Cooper Rush has been better than I thought and is keeping Dallas afloat until Dak returns, but some people are asking the question, is there a quarterback controversy in Dallas? Absolutely not. No way. Now, if Cooper Rush was throwing for 300, 400 yards, in each game, throwing 3, 4, 5 touchdown passes in each game, I'd say, okay, maybe Cooper Rush is making things interesting, and maybe there's going to be some kind of quarterback battle in Dallas. These numbers that Cooper Rush is posting are decent backup quarterback numbers, and nothing beyond that. Which, hey, Cowboy fans will definitely take those numbers from him. I mean, I didn't think he had that in him. So, yeah, Cooper Rush, sure, he's been able to keep the team afloat, which again, hats off to him because I didn't think he had it in him. I didn't think he'd be able to do it, but he has been. Now, once Dak Prescott is ready to go, is he going to be the starting quarterback in Dallas? Absolutely. But I do have to wonder about this, right? Their whole thing was, Dak Prescott could be out. At first it was he'd be out 6 to 8 weeks, and then it was, hey, he could be back in 4 weeks. All right, so this is Week 4 coming up, which means if he's back in 4 weeks from the injury, he'd be back for the game at SoFi Stadium against the Rams. If Cooper Rush wins next week, if Cooper Rush and the Cowboys win next week against the Commanders, I'd have to think that maybe they'd let Prescott sit a little bit more just to let him be fully healed before he comes back. Now, if Cooper Rush was doing terrible and he was losing them games and was just absolutely dreadful, I think the Cowboys would probably be rushing Prescott back a bit more than they are. But if he's able to keep the team afloat until Prescott is 100% healthy and 100% ready to go, I see no reason for them to rush Prescott back. But let's not get crazy. There's no quarterback controversy in Dallas right now. When Prescott is 100% healthy and ready to go, he is going to be the quarterback in Dallas. Mike McCarthy, does he get some credit? No, absolutely not. Mike McCarthy gets no credit here. I mean, maybe he gets a little bit, just a little bit. maybe a sprinkle of credit. But I think a lot of this is the fact that, you know what? The Cowboys, and again, they have not played great teams. Let's not get crazy. They played the Buccaneers week 1 and they lost that game, right? But they beat the Bengals week 2. The Bengals are 1-2, and the only reason they've won a game is because they played the Jets. Last night they played the Giants, probably the worst 2-0 team entering week 3. Sure, the Giants were 2-0, but they played the Titans, who stink, and they played the Panthers, who also stink. So maybe the Giants aren't exactly all that. So that is who the Cowboys have beaten. So let's not get crazy and say, McCarthy has just gone out and done an absolute masterclass at coaching, and, wow, what a job. They've played some mediocre to bad teams to start the season, and Cooper Rush is just going out and having an average night. And I wouldn't even say average, but I would say he's having a decent night in each of those games. But to say that he's going to, take over and take Dak Prescott's job, that is, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Week 1 is oftentimes prime NFL overreaction week. To say that Cooper Rush is going to take Dak Prescott's job is one of the biggest overreactions I've ever heard. Cooper Rush has had good games, not great games, and when Prescott is 100% ready to go, he will be the number 1 quarterback in Dallas. But more on that game last night. Sure, the Cowboys won, but there was a team that they beat, the New York Giants. What does last night's game say about the Giants exactly? It tells me pretty much what I knew going into this game all along, was that they're okay. I mean, they're not great. They might not even be good. They're a slightly better than average team, and nothing beyond that. As I mentioned, they beat the Titans week 1, who, again, the Titans only have won a game because they were playing another winless team, and somebody was going to be 0-3 after that game. They also played the Panthers, who aren't exactly that good either. What last night does tell me is that Daniel Jones is not the guy. And I didn't need last night to know that. I did not need last night to say that. I did not need to watch the game last night. And in fact, I didn't watch the game last night. But last night just further proves that Daniel Jones, in my book at least, is not the guy. He was drafted in 2019, and he's entering his 4th season with the Giants, and the Giants haven't even sniffed the postseason. They haven't even been close. What the Giants need to do is decline his 5th-year option, let him walk, and move on. Sterling Shepard will be out for the season after tearing his ACL. That was made public today. That was an announcement today. And, I mean, the Giants just... I'm sorry. They were 2-0, and it was fun while it lasted. But they need a real quarterback. Daniel Jones is not the guy. He doesn't even deserve the Danny Dimes nickname. As I mentioned, my nickname for him is Danny Ducks, because all he throws is ducks. 0-9 in primetime makes Kirk Cousins look like an absolute legend. Daniel Jones in primetime makes Kirk Cousins look like Tom Brady. Daniel Jones is not the guy for the Giants. And I don't know what else they need to see from him. I really don't. I don't know what more the Giants need to see to understand that Daniel Jones just isn't it. They've got Tyrod Taylor as the backup quarterback. And I think now, the Giants, I think, are at a crossroads right now. Because you can either let Daniel Jones be the quarterback for the rest of the season and risk blowing this 2-1 start. Because let's be honest, whether you played great teams or not, you still have 2 wins. You're still 2-1, and you still have a winning percentage right now. You have a winning record right now, whether you played great teams or not. When at the end of the season, when it's all said and done, and you're in a playoff race, it doesn't matter the quality of the teams you played. This is not college football or college basketball where in order to get into the postseason, they look at the quality of wins that you've had. If you won 10 games, if you won 12 games, you've won 12 games. It doesn't matter whether or not you had an easy schedule. Now, are we going to take that easy schedule and say, well, here's why this team is not going to go far in the playoffs? Sure. But at the end of the season, if you win 13, 14 games, you win 13, 14 games and you're in the postseason. It doesn't matter if you hadn't had the easiest schedule or the toughest schedule. 13 wins is 13 wins at the end of the day. And so right now for the Giants, 2 wins is 2 wins. You're 2-1. You have a winning record. And if you continue to play Daniel Jones, well, you might not have a winning record for much longer. Is Tyrod Taylor that much better? Maybe not. But can Tyrod Taylor keep you hovering 500 and possibly even keep you in a wild card race? Maybe, and I think I have more confidence in Tyrod Taylor's ability to do that than Daniel Jones. Because Daniel Jones, once he goes south, oh boy, he goes south. Once he starts to hit rock bottom, he hits rock bottom fast. He goes downhill and he goes downhill fast. Tyrod Taylor, he's going to keep you around. He's going to keep things interesting. Sure, Tyrod Taylor's been in the league for a while, but I think I at 2-1, and I'm not saying they need to start Tyrod Taylor next week, right? But what I am saying is, if we are in week 6, week 8, and the Giants are still hovering 500, and at that point, that means they've only won 1 or 2 more games, and they've lost 3 or 4 more. Probably not playing the best football in these next few weeks. I would think about starting Tyrod Taylor. And that might sound crazy. But maybe it's not so crazy, right? Daniel Jones I'm sorry. I have never been and will not ever be a big believer in Daniel Jones. And, okay, is Tyrod Taylor going to go out and win you that game last night? Maybe not. I'm not saying Tyrod Taylor is some masterclass quarterback that's going to go out there and win the division for you. But is he better than Daniel Jones? I'd be willing to argue that maybe he is. So we'll have to see what the Giants do, because they're Saquon Barkley. Hey, he's made it. He's made it this far. He hasn't gotten injured yet. And the Giants, maybe they don't have the best roster in the league, but I think that they are probably going to be better than they were last year. So we'll see what they do with that. That'll be an interesting development. We'll see what the Giants do there.